Hey, what is going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We are back with a ton of C8 Z06 updates to cover, as well as the Stingray allocation that we have available to us this week. If you watched the last video, then you will know that now the Stingray and Z06 allocation information is spread into a two-cycle approach. So November 16th, which is next Wednesday, is when we will find out the Z06 allocation quantity and constraints. But in today's video, we want to go over two new added accessory options, the pricing on some of these ridiculous carbon fiber pieces that you can now get on your C8 Z06, recap the information for the Stingray allocation cycle that was made available today, as well as go over what I have seen now as the first flip for a C8 Z06 that's being done right now and posted online. Let's talk a little bit about the craziness going on there. And as always, if you're stopping by for the first time, if you like this content, you enjoy the format, you like the quick and concise nature of this video, then definitely go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button so this video is shared with more people and you're notified of the next video when it first drops. And since I assume everyone watching is a Corvette enthusiast, so let's go ahead and dive right into today's video and talk about the 2023 Corvette Stingray constraints for November. In this November order cycle, we are seeing a continuation of the Z51 and non-Z51 Stingray split. It's about 65 to 70% to 35 to 30%. Which is about where the percentages were last month, and so we're seeing General Motors throttle the amount of Z51 and non-Z51s based on what parts availability they have. If you do have a Stingray order and you're waiting for allocation, dealerships were told today what their allocation quantity is for this ordering cycle. We are seeing that the high wing spoiler in carbon flash is still in constraint, along with the forged aluminum black wheels, which I believe have been on constraint from last month as well, so those are at zero availability. On the bright side, we are seeing edge red brake calipers available in both the configurator tool as well as for the dealers to be able to place orders with those options. Huge shout out to the Mid-Engine Corvette forum and John for making this information available. We can see a really good breakdown of the Z51 and the non-Z51 quantities, so it looks like 151 Z51 performance package cars can be ordered within this ordering cycle, and then 124 non-Z51 cars can be ordered. You can also see that the carbon flash high wing and the forged wheels are sitting at a whopping 0, which seems to me that those are parts that are not available due to the supplier constraints that General Motors is dealing with. One thing that has changed is magnetic ride control can now be ordered with the non-Z51 performance cars, so at least that's a huge improvement, as last month non-Z51s were constrained with the magnetic ride control. So things are moving. General Motors is picking up the pace. They are trying to do their best based on this information, trying to deliver as many cars as they can, navigating through the hurdles of world as it exists today. Based on my research and information, if you are on an order or waiting list for a C8 Stingray with a good dealership, it seems like 4, maybe 5 months seems to be the turnaround time from the time you place the order to the time you get an allocation for your car, which is down a lot from the 1+ year wait times that those numbers were sitting at just 6-7 months ago. Next up is the C8 Z06 accessory changes. We are now able to order a visible carbon fiber spoiler for the C8 Z06. Now, who would be crazy enough to actually order one at a whopping price of $5,795 and an installed price of almost $6,000 for this? Is quite frankly outrageous. Now, this is a very aggressive looking spoiler. I think it's better than the low profile carbon flash one, but I really don't know who's going to be spending $6,000 for this spoiler. But nonetheless, it is an option that is now available. I think a much better option is now you can actually place your C8 Z06 order with the red engine manifolds for the C8 Z06. And we have seen renders in some of the prototype cars with this edge red, but we didn't know if it was an orderable option until today. General Motors has made that available for a very reasonable price of $595. And obviously it's only available for the coupe since the convertible wouldn't have any visibility to the engine manifold, but it is cool that General Motors is offering this because on the forums this has definitely been a talking point, as well as I've talked to people in the comment sections about whether this will eventually have been an orderable option, because quite frankly the engine manifold carbon fiber cover being on constraint leaves a really beautiful powertrain and engine undressed in the stock format, so to allow it to be painted in red I think really sets it off and makes it look exotic. So it's great to see General Motors come up and stand up to the call of the consumer and make this option available. And lastly, if you have a contact or know somebody at General Motors, I'd really love somebody to speak to and answer to some of the shenanigans that we're starting to see for the C8 Z06. As you can see from this post on Facebook, somebody working at a Chevrolet dealership was able to not only order a C8 Z06 and put it up for over $100,000 over MSRP. The most infuriating part is this is a retail unit, so this is not a customer sold unit. The dealer was able to order this car based on the allocation they got for dealer stock as a retail order. So we saw last year the head of General Motors North America make some pretty, at this point, baseless and empty threats that dealerships that do this kind of stuff are going to have their allocations pulled and relocated. And so with dealerships having customer wait lists in the thousands and pushing out years, why are dealers able to even put a retail order in and get an allocation with a 3,000 status to then flip for $100,000? And I know this sounds like a rant, it kind of is. This allocation could have easily have been given to a customer that's waiting for their C8 Z06 to get picked up, like myself. But even a lot of more people that have waited more than I have for the C8 Z06 should be getting more precedent or priority over dealers being able to put retail orders in. And my stance is pretty simple. If this was a $250,000 car, then it should have been priced at that point. And if anybody should be getting the money, it should be the General Motors engineers and the Corvette team for putting together such a fantastic product. I just don't think that extra $100,000 is fair going to the dealerships, because to be fair, I don't think the dealerships are really doing a lot of work to move the Z06s. They're selling themselves, they're in high demand. It's the easiest job and the easiest car to sell for any dealership. So it doesn't quite seem fair that this system is allowing them to get away, of all people, with this price gouging. If GM came out and said this is a $250,000 car, then by all means go for it and give that money to the people that built this spectacular machine. But since that's not where this money's going and the engineers and the Corvette team feel comfortable with this pricing, and GM is trying to clamp down on it on the consumer side, it's only fair that General Motors show us some intent and action that they are targeting this on the dealer side. So that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. If you have not already, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want the latest and greatest videos, once you subscribe, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you get updated every time there's a Corvette update and a video on the channel. And thanks again for all the love and support, everybody. Until the next time, I look forward to seeing all of you in the comment section below.